For 2018, Swift is going through something of a change. Gone are individual brands such as Sterling and Sprite, and instead all become ranges underneath the Swift banner. So what does that mean for the evergreen Challenger? Well, not a huge amount if I'm honest. It's still one rung above the entry-level Sprite, and its former blood brother, the Eccles, has been moved a shade upmarket with standard Aldi wet central heating. Not that that means nothing has changed, of course. You only have to look at it to see that there are tweaks. There are these brand new graphics which look really quite different to the red stripes of old. There are new alloy wheels, and there are these new side skirts which are dent resistant and should mean that if you happen to catch a gate post with your caravan, you won't have to replace the entire sidewall. As last season, there's the optional Lux Pack, which brings with it things like an external gas barbecue point, an external locker hatch, and an external 230 volt point, although there's still not Alco trailer stability control as standard, which I do think is a bit of a shame. The old 510 with its fixed near side bed has been dropped from the range, and the only model to get a significant makeover is this, the 480. If you're already familiar with the 480, you should have spotted straight away what's new. It's a whole lot bigger. Those larger external dimensions result in a hugely bigger living space, in particular here at the back of the van. This sideboard is simply colossal. We've got a couple of cupboards and a drawer down low and 2 overhead lockers. There's even, down here on the end, an extra little locker. It's the ideal place to put things like your motor mover control or perhaps your steady winder handle if you've got a folding one. Above the door, you can see that this van actually has the optional Aldi wet central heating fitted, which is likely to cost around £1,000. And there's also the updated version of Swift's command system, which allows you to monitor your refrigerator and also, if you happen to have it fitted, any optional air conditioning. At the back of the van here, there's this rather smart wall in Ocean Drive, this wavy effect, and a useful shelf for your keys and things. It is a bit of a shame that there's no socket here, because that would be a great place to leave your phone charging before you jump out of the van. Over here on the off side of the van, we've got a really good kitchen area. It's very well specified. There's a tall, slimline Dometic fridge, a separate oven and grill, and a dual fuel hob with 3 gas burners and an electric hot plate. And overhead, a microwave which is sensibly sited away from the hob and not ridiculously high up. There is some workspace, but if you want more, there's a pop-up flap at the end. The end washroom is a good size, if not quite as large as you might expect, bearing in mind this van's larger dimensions. On the offside wall, there's an electric flush Thetford loo, although it's a bit of a shame it hasn't got a concealed cistern, which seems to be the in thing this season. Above it, there's a frosted window, and then behind it, on the back wall, an enormous wardrobe, which is shelved in the bottom. Alongside that, also on the back wall, there's a massive mirror and a very generous sink, with a decent sized cabinet beneath. And then here in the near side corner, well, we've got a very good sized shower cubicle. It's got the new, more durable shower floor and an Eco Camel shower head. And it's got a bifold door. My only complaint is that's rather a small aperture to get in and out, although maybe that's just me. And then alongside the shower, down low, we've got storage for the lounge table. That bathroom may not have been huge, but this lounge really is massive and wonderfully spacious. You can sit 6 people in here with relative ease. And that means, of course, that at night, these sofas are pretty much long enough to be used as single beds. Of course, if you want them to be a double, well, that's easy. You just pull out the slats and rearrange the cushions. There's plenty of storage in here too. We've got 4 overhead lockers and a little storage space in front of them that's relatively hard to access, but it is still there. And of course, up front, we've got a central chest. There's loads of space underneath the bunks too, and it's really good to see drop-down flaps so that you can access it. Up front here, there's a couple of 230 volt sockets, but no 12 volt or aerial points for them. You'll have to go over to the sideboard, although that probably is the perfect place for your telly, being nice and low. The one thing that is missing, both there and here up front, are any USB sockets. That seems a little bit of an oversight in this day and age. Most vans at this price point do have them. The ambience in here is a little muted, and I think that's largely down to these optional Swift Shield fabrics. For my money, the standard and cheaper Santa Monica is a little bit more cheerful. One thing that does lift the atmosphere, however, is the new pelmet lighting. It just adds to the nighttime lighting options in this lounge. Sprite's determined shift up market this season makes it harder than ever to justify the extra expense of a Challenger. But in the 480, the Challenger range offers something unique. While some buyers will go for the two-berth end washroom layout specifically for its compact dimensions and low weights, for many, the fantastic sense of space alone will make this van worth the cost of entry.